we are going live right now. So yes, it did work out, but I was a little emotional mess. More
and
so
now here you are.
Working like an airhead. And I'm like, oh, I was just working on this right here.
Just sitting here doing work.
I sat right to the gate the next time.
That's funny. Not happening twice.
That's right. I got you. Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Okay. Let's, welcome everyone to the WEOC community. It's our on-air coaching call, which is the second Thursday of the month. And we actually have Sarah Appleton back. We had her on a couple months ago for the Q&A about accounting. And she and I have been working on how to brand multiple, not necessarily revenue streams, it's multiple businesses really. And there's always a question about, people know me or they know Sarah, so they want to go to Sarah to find what Sarah has. So I brought up some different websites that I thought we could look at today. And Sarah, I'll have you kind of give your full spiel, but and a little video that I wanted to walk through. So I will let you take it away, and I'm going to change our view just so people
can see. So as I've already discussed, I've worked in the accounting field. Now I've started an accounting business, and now I'm starting to realize, and I also do, I sell activewear. So I sell activewear because I love working out and I love helping women, and I love that side of it. So that's one side. And then accounting is another. So I want to help businesses with accounting, but I don't want it to just be accounting. So I want to be able, hopefully my goal with it is in the future, help with strategic decisions and growth and, how to get them to where they want to be 3, 5, 10 years from now. So I don't want people to just think, because accounting can become very narrow, I feel like, because once people hear you're an accountant, it's like, oh yeah, you do numbers, and it stops at that. And I don't want that, because I also want to do, I'm super nerdy when it comes to Excel. And so I want to be able to help. That's another side that I want to be able to help people on. And I, in my mind, I'm very obviously numbers and accounting driven. So my mind is not creative in any way, shape, or form. So when I think of it, it overwhelms me on how I even make all of that come together, but it's all me. I mean, it's what I do every single day. I just don't know how to put it out and show people. So.
Yes. Okay. And this is something that a lot of clients kind of struggle with, or maybe just try to think outside the box. Like, I love doing this and this and this. And then once you get the bug of starting a business, you're like, well, I can do these other 9 businesses,
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. It's a problem. I have lots of other ideas, but I need to do one. I need to get one going, which is fine. I just want to make sure, because I'm still so early in so we started Appleton accounting, and I'm like, yeah, that's perfect. Let's go with it. And now I'm kind of like, is that really the best? And I'm still so early that I feel like if I can rebrand now, not even brand now, I won't have to rebrand in a year from now when things start to change. So.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm excited to talk to you about this because so many other people will struggle with the same thing sometimes. So I'm going to share my screen, and I got to think about which one it is. So you're all going to see yourselves in the Facebook group. So we will just, one thing, when you and I were last talking, you said, okay, we could do so many different things. We could brand you as one entity, and then have multiple brands underneath you. We could have you have just one overarching LLC, and then have, so that nobody really sees this overarching LLC and the little businesses underneath you. So I was going through to try to find some websites that would be good examples of service-based businesses as well as product-based businesses. And this one popped up when I was looking, And I thought this was so good because it goes back to kind of our last discussion, where basically deciding on the best strategy on how to brand multiple brands is just goes back to, what does your customer want? So this says it's a matter of listening to your customers. And I decided that would be a good thing to show because it's true. So if you're thinking of your customer that comes to you for, is it Zaya?
Yep.
The workout wear?
Yep.
So if they're coming to you from Zaya, they might be professionals, they might not be. There's probably, they may work out, they may not. Yep. Right. So describe that customer to me. Who is the Zaya customer?
So ideally I have a customer avatar for Zaya, which is essentially me. I mean, someone that, oh no, I can't hear you.
I'm here. I'm just not talking.
There we go. Oh, you're delayed. Sorry. Because I have to, in my mind, I have to kind of zone in on who my customer is. So for me, in the activewear field, it's essentially me. It's a mom who's running around like crazy all of the time, trying to find 30 minutes to fit a workout in. And when she does it, she has to go to 14 other places, either before or afterwards. And so she needs activewear that fits that lifestyle. So it's essentially a mom that's running around like crazy. I've really started to focus in on working moms, just because that's my experience and that's kind of what I know. For me, it's a woman who on the weekends wants to get out of that 9-to-5 wear that she has to wear all day, every day, but still be presentable out in public type thing. And so that's in my mind, that's the ideal customer.
Okay. And she's coming to you kind of specifically because she wants workout wear. Yes. Right. Or she's finding motivation from what you're posting, or.
Yeah, I'm hoping both, right? Because I like to post workouts. I've been lacking on that lately because I joined a gym and I'm like trying to figure out how to actually record myself doing them. But I like to post workouts and just activity, not necessarily workouts, like getting outside and taking the dog for a walk, or riding the bike with your kids, or whatever that looks like. So motivation from the workout side, as well as honestly just building confidence as a woman, because I think that's just, and so I've been trying to, those are the things I want to, in a customer, I want them to feel amazing in the workout gear, but not just the workout gear, in their skin and who they are and who they want to become.
Okay. And then you may have, like you were saying, your accounting, and then, and that has its own person, right? So who is that person? I guess
that one's been tough for me recently, just because I'm trying to figure out what that person looks like. Because right now I feel like I'm so early in it that I just need to take on clients. And so it's been hard for me to kind of narrow down, what that ideal customer is. Because it's hard to say no to somebody, even if I think they may not be ideal right now. I think in another year or two, I'll be able to have that choice. But right now, I don't know if that's the case. But my past is in manufacturing. So right now I'm working with a client that's not manufacturing, but they have inventory issues. And so that's, right up my alley. So inventory, because I have an understanding of that. That being said, I obviously work in the service-based industry. So I don't want to say no to those either. And so it's been tough for me to narrow that down more and more. As you know, going forward, my customer might change completely, but I need to kind of get a base right now before I can, what I feel like I can say no to going forward. So I feel like that's not a good answer.
Well, no, but it's the answer that it is right now. And that's part of trying to figure out how to brand. So that's why it gets a little mushy. So thinking through, if you were to create a list right now, we're going through the CARES training with Kelly Ambrioli.
Yep.
And she's going to say, make a list of the people you want to work with. And it can't always be the Sweetwater and the Vera Bradley because we're all trying to do that. Right? So we've got to find a way to find some of these smaller companies that can make decisions to hire you. So how would you go about making a list right now for that business?
So what I have done, I mean, locally I've done that. So I know, so I'm in Angola, so I know that I can go locally. And I have looked up the businesses, I've driven around. I know the ones that I want to literally just walk into, because I know we talked about the 12 contacts with the businesses. So that's my number one, is if I need to start local, then I need to start local, and I get that. And that's my number one focus, is finding, because there's businesses in this area that I know of that are doing a ton in sales and don't have any guidance of any sort of accountant or CFO type thing. So that's number one, is local in this area, because they're right in front of my face. Beyond that, that's probably where I've struggled the most. So I've looked at, I've done like the Upwork and that type of thing. So going to those websites, and looking for work there, I feel like in order to get work there, you have to have work there. It's like this whole cycle of, but I do think there's a ton of clients out there, and seeing the postings, it makes me realize how many people need this service. So that's exciting to me. But locally, I probably haven't made a good enough list in this region of where to find those people.
So the few that you said I'd love to walk into, what do those look like?
Well, up here, they're mostly manufacturing, just because that's the biggest, in this area, that's the majority of it. So probably, I would probably say
just
80-20.
Just to start anywhere, just to start, we could make a list of manufacturers.
Yep.
Locally. And we could, probably between Angola, like say even a 20-mile radius around Angola, like where would those be? So that says to me maybe a revenue goal for them too. Like say maybe they're making $1 million in sales.
Yeah.
Or in revenue. So I would say those two things. Let's just start there. And it can morph into.
Yeah, where I've struggled is I want to do that, but then I feel like then I go back to the beginning of, I'm like, well, what do I give them? I'm like back to that whole, how do I want business cards or so. I want the thing, and then I have a website and a email, but is that the one I really want to go forward with? And then I sit stagnant instead of moving forward. So.
Okay, so we know that's a thing that we shouldn't make a list on, is just what will make you comfortable going to call on these people. I will say, and Kelly trains on this all the time too, is that, and you and I have talked about being in the buyer position.
Right.
We don't keep pamphlets. We don't keep all the material people drop off. And we're like, oh, we're just going to drop it off and they'll read it. And if they need us, they'll call us. That's not a thing.
Right.
They don't do that. It goes right into the trash, or it lays on your desk for a while until you're like, ugh, whatever. Or it might go in a folder, but you never go back to look at that folder. So don't even worry about creating a pamphlet or a one-page document. Nobody looks at them. So
what I want to do.
Goal,
I do have an idea. I want to do a business card with like a QR code in it that you could just scan. You just take a picture of. And then I have two thoughts of either it going to a video that I've made, like, hey, love to help you out. Here's what I offer. If you want more information, do this. Or the freebie, hey, do you actually need an accountant? Here's the things that you might want to look for. So that's the only. So I have this idea. I just need the card. It's not even that hard to make. I know how to make it. I just need the branding on the front side to have that to go with it, type thing. So that's my idea.
I love that. I love that it's interactive. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trying.
We need a logo.
Well, because I think that, as we talked about, part of the thing I want to upsell on myself, which is hard for me to do, is the fact that I have a personality and actually like to talk to people, which is harder to find in accountants. So not that there's not them out there, but that's part of it. And so if I could do something a little different, like the video, then people can see, see it right away.
Mm-hmm.
So,
in that same regards, do you think those people, the people that would be making the decisions at these companies, are they on LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, I know. I need to hit LinkedIn really hard.
And I just had this discussion with one of the Launch Women's Business Builder, the accelerator for women in tech. I had this conversation with them yesterday. So if I pull up LinkedIn, which, by the way, if anybody has an idea for a tech-based business, we're accepting applications for the cohort for Launch Women's Business Builder that starts in March.
That's
okay,
awesome.
So say you're looking for, I gotta keep moving us, manufacturing in people. Maybe not, we'll have to see, because they may not have manufacturing in their actual title.
Right.
Okay, let's see what comes up. So I type this in, and it will populate to tell me who all I might need to connect with that has manufacturing. So I'm going to say first, I'm already connected to them. Show those results first. And it brings up all of these people. So instead of me writing them a message that goes straight to them, they're going to be turned off by that. They have no idea who I am. They're not going to respond. So what we need to do is maybe I go to Lori. So she's a supervisor. Is that your target market? Manufacturing supervisor.
Probably not.
Because she's not going to be able to make the decision on an accounting person.
Right.
So
I mean, a smaller company maybe, but not at Vera Bradley.
So let's put in president. And we're going to stay with the first. And I'm going to put in, let's put in Greater Fort Wayne right now. And I guess I can just put in Angola. Let's see. Okay. And then see what that comes up with. So now, who am I connected to? I'm connected to all these people. So I know Vicky is, she is like a tech consultant. She's amazing, but she's not in your target demographic.
Right.
So you could definitely go in and write comments on her post, but it's not necessarily, it would be like a roundabout way to get connected to the people you want.
Right.
So Julie is the owner of Joe Fiel, which is a high-end boutique. So that's not it. Oh, maybe this. So I would go to Joe's page. Again, I'm not going to message him directly. I'm going to go look up what he's posted. So I don't know if you guys just saw that, but I'm looking at all his activity, but I'm only going to focus on what he's posting. I don't really care who else he's commented on. So he says, great feeling to see a project come together. Look at all these panels. So if I want him to start connecting with me, I'm going to maybe spend 10 minutes a day. No, 10 minutes, maybe twice to 3 times a week, and go through and find these people that make sense. And instead of direct message them, I'm just going to say, wow, it really does look great, because it really does. And then maybe that's it.
Right.
And now he's going to see my face. So 3 times a week, he's going to see my face. Then I can go in, I can write a letter. I can write a letter that says, connecting us. Hey, I don't know, or maybe I'm cold calling, whatever. Maybe you walk in there and you say, I don't know if you recognize me, but we've been connecting on LinkedIn. I really loved that building that you just did. This whatever, Ranobond,
Right.
whatever. And I bring that up. So right off the bat, he has a connection. So it almost kind of guilts them into talking to you
Yeah.
because now there's a connection. He can't just ignore you.
Right.
So this is why I tell everybody, just schedule it. Just set your alarm because you can get sucked into it. So just no more than 10 minutes a day, whoever you can get to, just kind of like keep a list. These are the people I definitely want to hire me.
Yeah.
Just start communicating with them.
Well, and then once I start on him, then I can look at his connection. I mean, most presidents are going to be connected to people of that same caliber. So then I can make more connections. It always seems, it's so silly, but it always seems overwhelming, right? But 2 to 3 times a week for 10 minutes is not overwhelming. I mean, let's be honest, like that's
Right.
simple.
And I think it even seems more overwhelming with LinkedIn because LinkedIn is like the Excel of social media. Like we know we can use it, but it's intimidating. We know we can still write like we couldn't Word, but it's like,
yes.
So that's
it has stories now too. I mean,
is.
it's doing a ton. And I'm obsessed with Gary Vee, and he talks about LinkedIn all the time and the reach that you can have on there. So, yeah.
Oh, good. See, yeah. So that is what I would do. I would just start commenting on people, and then you can go in. So really, by this time, you don't even need a business card because they have seen your face and checked you out. See, who is this person that keeps commenting?
Right.
So you don't need a logo. You don't need anything. You just need
because on LinkedIn, all of my history is on there of everything I've done. And then I just need to add my current role of whatever, Appleton accounting or whatever whatever amazing name we're going to come up with, Leslie, whatever this new, I'll add that. Yeah. And then I also need to,
go ahead.
I need to share more on LinkedIn, I need to post information. I want to start posting helpful, like, hey, as a, small business owner, do you know where your cash is going on a monthly basis? Is it, what are the top 3 things you're looking for when it comes to cash? That, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And as long as you're doing it a few times a month, I think we get into this rut where we think we have to just get into this hustle where we are posting every day. And yes, consistency definitely matters, but this is real networking when we're going in and we're showing our face and we're commenting about what cares to that or what matters to that person. We're using it as a networking tool and not a billboard. Yep. So if we were to go to my page, as I gotta even think about how to get to me. So if we were to go to my page and say Joe says, who is this Leslee Hill? I want to see what she's all about. So of course you get the blanket, here's my resume, here's some things, and maybe he wants to see what I've been doing. So now he's going to come to see my activity and he's going to look at my posts here in a second. And then he gets an understanding of my personality. He can see that I've not been consistent on Quick Tip Tuesdays lately. I want to be, but something keeps happening. So I'm gonna work on that.
Somebody once told me, Leslie, you should set your alarm and then you just do it. And then sorry. Listen, I am not the one to judge on any of that. I give lots of advice and I don't follow myself. So.
Oh, I know. So here's one from 3 weeks ago. Then we jump up and there's one from probably 1 week ago. And then this is 1 week ago. So I just missed this Tuesday, but
no, you're fine.
Yeah. So he can see that I'm at least active and get a good feel for me. And then he's going to go back and he's going to keep seeing me again and again.
Yep.
Okay. So there's that. So now if we think stop sharing this. So we think you have the actionware and you have the accounting, and then you have this idea with Excel.
Right.
So if you're going to be on social media, we have to target what your goal is for each channel. So if LinkedIn is probably going to be more for your accounting business or your Excel, let's make a goal around that. Yes, it may be working moms who wear your workout wear, but that's not where the majority of your money is going to come from. The majority of your revenue is going to come from your accounting services.
Right.
And Excel. And then maybe on Facebook, that's a better one to do. Maybe Facebook and Instagram is a better one to do the activewear.
Yep. Agreed.
So making a goal around those two. All right, so now then we get back to our website dilemma. What the heck do we do with that, right?
Yep.
Let me see if there are questions so far in the group. When Tony Widman says, I've been a Zaya customer of Sarah's and have been considering a new accountant. Let me know if you want to connect about that. So that works out perfect. Yay.
Yeah, Tony did a party and everything.
Single. Yeah. Oh, fun. Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's so fun. You guys know each other. All right, back on track. Okay, so now if we think, how are we going to provide a good outlook on what we offer on our website? So now I'm going to share this. So I brought up the Coke website. So we know they offer a ton of stuff, right? We know they have a lot of brands. How do they show everything? Well, for them, luckily right now, they're just showing only their liquid beverages. And then they break that down into what they think people want. So what kind of energy drink do they have? Or, all right, now I want to know what all the flavors are. So you can go in and look at it that way. And then you get to this all products, which is where we are on this page. And they're going to break it down again by the different, probably they're going to do by what sells the best. I'm going to put those first. But they are breaking it down. Okay, so that's one product. Then let's look at HP. I really like this one. I thought this one is the most easy to see what they can offer us. So here's HP. We know when customers come here, they may want to just go right to support, or they may want to shop. So they have those two right off the bat.
Right.
And then here is where they have the different offerings. And I think this is really clear. I like that they have the little icons with it because instead of just being up here in a big long line, this just makes it a little bit more, I don't know, fun to look at. It's a little bit more eye pleasing.
Yeah, it's less overwhelming.
Yes, agree. Because I think Coke is very much just like, a lot. So now these are products. Now what happens when it's more of a service? So I brought up Oprah. And so first of all, trying to type in Oprah, if you don't know exactly how to spell her name, a lot of different things come up. So you might have opera. You might have this other thing that was like a tech company. And so even though we all know who Oprah is, it may still be a little confusing when you go to type it in. I personally think her website is overwhelming and I don't really like it compared to Rachel Ray, which is what I'll show you in a second. In order to really understand what she offers, like I don't want to see JCPenney advertising on her site. What? You already make enough money.
I'm shocked by that, to be honest.
Me too. Yeah, like this car thing, like I want to know what Oprah is about. And before I scroll down, all I know is that there's a show or a movie must be a show I can watch, and she has a magazine, but that's it. I don't know anything else about it. And now she wants me to buy bras, which is I just looked at these with my daughter who's 8 and she thinks she needs a bra. It's so exciting.
That's why.
So
That's why they're
up.
there. It knows.
Yes. It's following me.
Yes.
So here, okay, this is a magazine, so that's good. Okay, she has a book list. So I might be interested in these things, but it's not necessarily appealing. It almost looks to me like one of those sites that you go to and it wants you to click on a link and you don't know what happened on the other side.
I agree.
So the only way I know how is if I scroll down over here. Then it makes actually a lot of clear sense. I'm like, oh, I wish that was just right out in the front instead of all those other pictures, because I could go to exactly what I want over here.
Right.
Okay, so now think of hers against Rachel Ray's, which is just much cleaner. I can see, okay, do I want a recipe? Maybe I want to read her blog. No, I want to go buy some of her product. And I can see when her shows are, maybe I want the magazine. So it's very easy for me right off the bat to see, even though she's this overall brand, what she's offering. It's much more in line with the HP and how they did it down here.
Yep.
And even as we scroll through, it's much cleaner. Your eyes have somewhere to rest, things like this. So she's offering multiple things. I mean, she is a brand herself, but it's going to take all of us a long time to get to that point. So I want to show just a little clip of this video, if it's okay with you. I'm going to make this bigger and actually, I'm going to stop sharing real quick because I did not share the share sound and that kind of thing. So sorry. Okay. Now I'm going to play.
Which is a super premium pet food. And they say that right in the top left corner. Right when you come to the site, you immediately see who they are and what they do. So right away, it passes the first question of the grunt test. Yeah. Super premium pet food. And then here we go, the second question of how do you help make my life better? Right. Help your pet thrive. That is their big tagline right up top. So even before I get into any copy at all, I immediately know they're a premium pet food company and they're going to help my pet thrive. Right. Now, underneath that, they actually get a little bit more specific about what it is. And it says moisture-rich, minimal ingredient cat and dog food that provides the best nutrition for your pet. Yes. So right at the top, we have no question what they do. And there's some cute pictures of a puppy and a kitty, which of course I love. Now, here's an interesting thing. It's one of the reasons I picked this site as one of my favorites, A, cats and dogs, but B, is because their calls to action are a little bit different, right? They say cat and dog. Now, it doesn't say buy now, which is, I would actually want them to say buy now. Yeah, buy cat food, buy dog food. Yes, exactly. But what this does is this immediately goes to a sales site that is specifically for the cat and the dog. Gotcha. And it addresses different issues. Cats are dealing with some different stuff. Dogs are dealing with some different stuff. So a lot of times people will come to us and they say, well, I have 2 calls to action on my site. I need to, let's say it's Airbnb, right? They want people to rent their homes and they need people to rent the homes from those people. So there's 2 different audiences they're trying to go after. You can have 2 different calls to action that go to different sites, right? But what we do want here, one thing that I would improve with this is just say buy cat food, buy dog food. Yeah. But it's okay to have 2 separate, if you have 2 audiences that go to different sites, and then once they're on that site, make sure that those are really, really clear. And you just basically repeat the same formula. Yep, over and over and over. It's a tree of websites. Yeah, so that's the call to action. But again, it's clear as far as take depending on the pet owner. And it has how it makes my life better and what it is. Passes the grunt test easily. And then, like every website that we love, goes right into a negative. It goes into the stakes, right? So it says, is your cat or dog experiencing? And then it just lists them. Itchy or flaky skin, loose stool, fussy eating, weight issues. You're to go a little graphic here. But what they did with all of it is actually the text is small and they used big icons. So when people are scanning, basically you could say, is your dog or cat experiencing? And it just shows that it takes care of a number of issues. Even if you're not reading the text, I know this solves a number of issues. And then it says dry food could be the cause. They've got a villain here of what's causing the problem for their pets. So they've established the problem and the negative piece, and what is causing that? The villain is dry food. And then they go right back into the positive again. So Koa pet food is better for your pet. And then they just start listing a value stack. Novel proteins, safe for sensitive stomachs, and nature-based nutrition. And again, they go right into their calls to action. So they're repeating that calls to action all the way down the page. And then we get to a guide section where they do some empathy. We care about your pets almost as much as you do. And then they say that they have no grains or potatoes or pea protein. I can't pronounce
Something
that word.
I can't pronounce.
No carrageenan, I can pronounce it, and no artificial preservatives. Then they go right into the plan, 1, 2, 3, choose your recipe, watch your pet thrive. Very simple. I know that even me as not a great, follower of directions for my dog, I can do this very easily.
Visually, it says.
All right, so based off of that and thinking about you having, the activewear, the accounting, the Excel, maybe even personal trainer, what do you think someone would do if they came to the site? What are they going to want to see?
Yeah. So overall, I need to provide like what I can, if I could talk, what I can provide them just as who I am, right? No matter what they go into, kind of what I'm providing them. Right? Like, hey, this is who I am. I don't know. Because the calls to action I get, I understand that.
Good. So we just need to make it make sense. So the person that's coming to you for activewear, yes, there, Tony, is probably not going to want to get accounting at the same time. Their head just isn't in that same frame.
Right.
So it makes sense if you think the dog and cat food are going to be accounting and Excel. And that's one website.
Yep.
And then maybe you have another one where it is Zaya and, your workout, whether you're going to do like a personal training or whatever. And it could just be a Zaya website. But I don't think that it makes sense to have Zaya and the things for business on the same page.
No matter what, right? Is what you're saying. Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
That very first screenshot that I had up here on, it matters. It's a matter of listening to your customers. So your customers are not saying, Sarah, can I get a pair of sweet leggings
to wear as a business owner so that you can do my accounting? Yeah. Okay.
But they may in the long run, like Tony was just saying, maybe that's like, oh yes, I already know, like, and trust her, and I do need that. But she's not going to the same site for the same needs.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, then I have a site essentially. I've put one, it's not like I haven't put one together. So then I just got to take it into the two directions that I want to go. Okay. And then
so now if we
go ahead.
I was just thinking, if we focus on that, the website where it's about accounting and Excel, because we'll start building that Excel piece. You have different options for how they would navigate that page as well. It could be that the Excel turns into a revenue stream. So as they're looking through here, this is maybe a more cost-effective way for someone to hire you, is to hire some of these templates you put together, or to purchase
Right.
some of these templates. And it's almost like a little shop, or it's, here's a little freebie, whatever.
Yeah.
And then my minimal cost, and then it starts to build on that. And then within there, they can hire you for your CFO training or services.
Right. Okay. So, and that's where I don't think it should be Appleton Accounting, right?
Well, because it is your name.
Mm-hmm.
However, Appleton isn't as specific as saying Sarah's Accounting.
Yeah.
Appleton does sound like maybe it's a street name, or it's a larger firm. You can get away with that a little bit easier. If it was Sarah's, we would have some issues, because it would look like a mom and pop shop, out of your house. And we want something that's going to allow you to grow, to maybe have employees down
Right.
the road.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I think that even in Angola, I'm thinking right now, there's like Peachtree, like travel something or other, and Appleton sounds like as a little bit more general, like this Peachtree. I swear it's like travel.
Right. That's why right. I don't know if it should be like Appleton Business Solutions. That just came out of my head, or something other than just Appleton Accounting. Right. Appleton.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it is
something.
It is bigger than that, really.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, that's where I don't want it to be so narrow with Appleton Accounting that I just think people focus on that, and then I don't want to make it harder, but I also don't want people to be like, what do you even do, type thing. So
yeah, that's a good point. So we do need to think about that, because I still think they could come to you for some of these Excel documents,
right.
because it's going to relate to that, but maybe they don't think of CFO and accountant in the same vein.
Right. Right. Yeah, and maybe that's it. That's probably a good way to put it. I feel like accounting is probably more of a, here you provide
an entry,
bookkeeping and and financial statements, which I want to do that, but I also want it to be something, more than that too. So.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then again, if you have employees underneath you, you can have teams that, okay, these, we do the accounting over here, but we also do some CFO work. We do some business consulting, and
right.
So yeah, let's think through that. That's a good point. Should we show your website right now?
No, because it's not working right now, Leslie. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, we won't do that.
Sorry, did I get a little too aggressive there?
No,
I don't want to. I so mad the other day when I went to it, and I'm like, what is? It was actually my dad, because love him. He was like, hey, what's your website? And I'm like, oh, it's appletonaccountant.com. And then he sends me a text. He's like, yeah, that's not working. I'm like, what, Dad? What are you talking about? Like, I spent hours upon hours on that. Yes, it is. You're obviously doing it wrong. Nope.
Yes, always. Yeah.
Nope. The 67-year-old was doing it right. I not so much. And that's where the frustration really came in, because then I was like, well, do I just move forward with it? Like, do I actually want to do this, or do I now, do I want to wait and see if I need to change? Because it's like the ideal time. I don't want to put another 2 days work into it if I'm going to change it. So that's how that all happened. Yeah. Yep.
That's a good call. It's kind of ironic right now, is I just got an email from a client, and it said, do you know of any accountants you can get me in touch with? She may or may not be watching this, but I'm gonna guess no.
That's funny. It's
That is funny.
all connected. That's weird.
It's all the universe is listening.
Yeah. That's too funny. I wish I liked the website. I mean, I was fine with it.
Yeah.
It just takes time. And so,
Yes, I thought it looked good too.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
so next steps, I would say, let's come back around. Let's float out some different business names. Let's test it out, see what people think. Even though,
Okay.
remember what I always say, who named Zillow? Who named
Oh.
these weird companies?
That's
whatever.
now a thing. It's a thing.
We're gonna float around some business name ideas
Yes.
and think that through, and then we can work on the logo. But really, as long as you have a website that's up and going and tells what you're doing, you know, just like you said, that overarching theme at the top, this is
Right.
exactly what I offer, and then ways to buy from you, and you bring out the pain points and then the solution, and then again, ways to buy from you. That is going to be the key thing really before you even need a logo or
Right.
even a business card, because everybody will just check you out. So 10 minutes 3 times a week on LinkedIn once
Yep.
you figure out what your name is.
Yeah. I know. See, that's where I felt like I was like, all right, I'm on a path, I'm doing this, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh man, I'm going backwards again, and I want to be going forwards, and then
But it's good.
So.
It's good that you have a couple, you know, you have a few clients already under
Yeah.
the accounting name, because that's really just going to be paying for you to keep going. You can keep rethinking what we want to do for a little bit. But I like the direction that we just worked through for your overall branding, keeping Zaya and that stuff separate from accounting and business side. And then your social media platforms, the goals different on both
Right.
of those. Okay.
Yep. Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on
Thank
here.
you.
I know sometimes it's a little intimidating, and I'm really glad that it didn't feel intimidating. So.
The funny thing with going live is you don't really think about the people that are, I don't anyway. I'm like, well, I can't see them. They can see me, but I can't see them. So it's not like you're standing in front of people in a room, you know, that whole picture yourself naked thing. You don't have to do it because it's just like or not yourself, them.
I know. Like, I don't want to picture myself naked.
No, them. Anyway, so
I know.
No, I appreciate it. I'm going to stop talking now, Leslie. All right. Thanks for the help.
All right. Well, have a great day. We'll circle back on Fridays so Sarah's in one of our mastermind groups, and we meet every Friday. There's about 5 of you in that, 4 or 5 of you in that.
Mm-hmm.
And again, just remember that every Thursday we go live in here. Today's was on air coaching. Next Thursday will be Therapy Thursday. So if anybody wants to talk to a therapist, it's kind of just like this. It's talking about your business and things that you might be dealing with. Mine would be like, why am I so scared of the phone? That would be my therapy thing. Hey, stinking mom. I'm sorry for all you people sending me messages. It just
That's funny.
So yes, Thursday will be Therapy Thursday. All right. Have a great day, Sarah. We'll circle back in our mastermind.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.